I wanted to talk about this now because France have just beaten Senegal 3-1, and that result exposed the question I think will decide this World Cup. Not simply which team has the best starting 11, but which team is built to survive 8 matches, huge travel, changing climates, and knockout football, where one tire mistake ends everything. Everyone is talking about Lionel Messi's last dance, Kylian Mbappe chasing history, or Spain trying to turn beautiful football into another trophy. Those are great stories, but there is another opponent on the pitch that no manager can substitute off: the conditions. France were level with Senegal until the 66th minute. Then Mbappe scored. Substitute Bradley Barcola added another. Senegal pulled one back, and Mbappe finished the match with a second goal. France won 3-1. Was that proof that heat and squad depth decided the game? No. Senegal had chances. France improved tactically after halftime, and Mbappe was simply brilliant. But did show something useful. France can be ordinary for an hour, change the shape of a match, bring elite quality from the bench, and still finish strongly. That matters more in 2026 than it did in previous World Cups. This is the first 48-team World Cup. There are 12 groups, a new round of 32, and 104 matches. A champion now has to play 8 times rather than 7. That sounds like one extra game, but it changes the whole tournament. It means another high-pressure match, another recovery cycle, another flight, another training decision, and another chance for a muscle problem or suspension to break the plan. And then there is the weather. The geography makes the recovery problem even harder. This is not one climate. A team can move from a dry afternoon to heavy humidity, then into an air-conditioned dome, then back outside. Mexico City adds altitude at more than 2,200 meters above sea level. The knockout bracket can send teams across time zones, while training, media duties, and travel continue between matches. The best medical department cannot remove those stresses. It can only manage them better. The expanded format also creates a strange management problem. The top 2 teams in every group advance, along with the 8 best third-place teams. That reduces the chance of a favorite disappearing after one bad result. But it also tempts coaches to calculate. Do you rotate early and risk finishing second? Do you chase first place and spend more energy? In a normal tournament, the bracket is mostly about opponents. In this one, the venue and kickoff time can be almost as important as the name on the other shirt. The useful measure here is called wet bulb globe temperature, or WBGT. It combines heat, humidity, sunlight, and wind to estimate how difficult it is for the body to cool itself. The Players' Union recommends cooling measures from 26 degrees WBGT and says 28 or above should trigger a delay or postponement. FIFA's official intervention threshold is higher. Before the tournament, climate researchers estimated that 26 of the 104 matches could reach at least 26 degrees WBGT. 5 could reach 28 or higher. That was not just a theoretical warning. In the first 24 matches, analysis found 2 open-air games were played at or above the severe 28-degree level, with 4 more reaching it inside climate-controlled stadiums. Only 3 of the 16 stadiums are fully air-conditioned: Dallas, Houston, and Atlanta. The rest depend on timing, shade, wind, hydration, and whatever weather arrives that day. FIFA has introduced 3-minute hydration breaks around the middle of each half. Those breaks protect players, but they also give coaches a tactical reset. A match can start to feel less like one continuous 90-minute contest and more like 4 shorter sections. So does heat become the biggest factor and make tactics almost irrelevant? No, that goes too far. Heat is not a magic sorting machine that automatically rewards one country or one type of player. It does not make someone better adapted because of ancestry, skin color, or family background. What matters is acclimatization, recent training conditions, hydration, medical planning, recovery, travel, minutes played, and how a team chooses to use its energy. Heat does not replace football quality. It multiplies the value of depth, control, and good decisions. There is also a difference between surviving heat and controlling a match in heat. A team that keeps the ball can slow the tempo, but possession is not free. It still requires constant movement, pressing after losing the ball, and concentration when tired. A counterattacking team runs less with the ball, but may spend long periods defending and reacting. There is no single heat-proof tactic. The advantage belongs to the team that can switch approaches before the conditions force the change. That is why my pick is France. Start with the obvious advantage. France can change attackers without turning into a lesser team. Mbappe is now France's all-time leading scorer after his 2 goals against Senegal, and he already has 14 World Cup goals. Ousmane Dembélé arrives as the reigning Ballon d'Or winner. Michael Olise helped unlock Senegal. Barcola scored from the bench. Behind them are players such as Desire Doué, Ryan Cherki, Marcus Thuram, and Jean-Philippe Mateta. Do they literally have 3 separate teams capable of winning the World Cup? No, that is football exaggeration. Their midfield is not infinitely deep. Eduardo Camavinga was not selected, and a few injuries in the wrong positions could still hurt them. But across attack and defense, France can rotate more aggressively than almost anyone without losing match-winning speed, strength, or one-on-one quality. The second advantage is that France can win different kinds of games. Spain won the ball. England want to attack with waves of high-level talent. Argentina can control emotion and tempo around a core that has already won everything. France can press, but they do not need to press for 90 minutes. They can sit deeper, defend the box, attack space, survive an ugly spell, and then accelerate when the opponent is tired. That flexibility is not always entertaining. Didier Deschamps has spent years being criticized for making gifted squads look cautious. But tournament football is not an award for the team with the prettiest average performance. It is a sequence of survival tests. Deschamps won the World Cup in 2018, reached the final again in 2022, and has confirmed this will be his last tournament as France coach. He knows how to manage risk, protect a lead, and keep a squad emotionally stable when one match becomes chaotic. But if France are such a clean choice, why were Spain the pre-tournament favorite in the major prediction models? Because Spain have an excellent case. Before the opening match, the Opta model gave Spain a 16.1% chance of winning and France roughly 13%. Spain are young, technically secure, and capable of keeping the ball away from opponents for long periods, which can actually conserve energy. Their 0-0 draw with Cape Verde was a shock, but one stubborn opponent and one outstanding goalkeeper do not suddenly erase the quality that made Spain favorites. Argentina have an even stronger reply. They entered the tournament as defending champions and number 1 in the official FIFA ranking. Messi then scored a hat trick against Algeria, equaled the all-time World Cup scoring record, and reminded everyone that he is not here for a ceremonial farewell. He turns 39 on June 24, but reducing Argentina to an old team carrying an old genius is lazy. They have organization, midfield quality, defensive experience, and the deepest possible belief that they can survive pressure. England also deserve more respect than the usual joke about history. They opened by beating Croatia 4-2, and their attacking depth is real. Germany started with 7 goals against Curacao. Brazil began with a 1-1 draw against Morocco, which captured both sides of Brazil perfectly. Obvious talent, but still questions about control. Portugal and Morocco are dangerous enough to punish any favorite that starts thinking about the next round too early. So why France over all of them? Because France have the fewest ways to become helpless. If a match opens up, they have Mbappe. If the opponent sits deep, they have Olise, Dembélé, and several dribblers. If the game becomes physical, they can match it. If they need to protect a lead, Deschamps is comfortable making the game smaller. If one attacker is poor, the replacement may be a Ballon d'Or winner, a Champions League star, or a young player who would start from most countries. And there is one more part of the schedule that the original Heat argument gets wrong. France do not have the second hottest group stage schedule in the tournament. One climate tracker gave their 3 group matches an average 30% chance of performance-impairing heat, with none above 50%. That is meaningful, but it is not the worst draw. The route changes dramatically depending on where France finish in Group I. If they win the group, their projected path runs through New York or New Jersey, Philadelphia, Boston, Dallas, and then back to New Jersey for the final. Dallas is climate-controlled. That route avoids Miami completely. If France finished second, one possible quarterfinal route goes through Miami, where heat and humidity are a much bigger concern. France also benefit from a relatively sensible group stage geography. Their 3 matches are all on the eastern side of the United States, and the team is based near Boston. That does not make the schedule easy, but it reduces the cross-continent travel burden that other groups face. For a tournament decided by small recovery margins, avoiding one extra long flight can matter almost as much as making one extra substitution. That means the next 2 group matches are not routine paperwork. France face Iraq and then Norway. Iraq should be the weaker side on paper, but Norway have Erling Haaland and enough attacking power to punish careless defending. Winning the group could mean a cleaner bracket and a less punishing climate path. In this tournament, one drop point can change not only the opponent, but the weather waiting in the next city. Now, let me challenge my own prediction properly. What is France's biggest weakness? It may be control in midfield. The squad is loaded with defenders and attackers, but the midfield group is smaller. If Aurelien Tchouameni is unavailable, if N'Golo Kante cannot maintain the required intensity, or if France struggle to progress the ball against an elite press, the match can become too dependent on Mbappe producing something extraordinary. We also saw against Senegal that the first half attack did not naturally connect. Deschamps had to adjust Michael Allah's position before France took control. That is the signal I would watch, more than the thermometer alone. Can France control the middle of a knockout match without draining their best players? Can Deschamps rotate early enough to protect legs, but not so much that the team loses rhythm? And when the match reaches the final 20 minutes, do the substitutes raise the level or merely preserve it? If the answer is yes, France are the team I expect to lift the trophy. Not because the heat chooses them, not because their players have some inherited biological advantage, and not because their squad is flawless. I am choosing France because this expanded tournament rewards the qualities they have in unusual abundance. Elite replacements, several ways to score, defenders who can survive space, a coach who understands knockout risk, and a captain who can decide a match before the tactical argument is finished. There is an important reality check here. A 13% pre-tournament chance means the field was still overwhelmingly more likely to win than France. In a 48-team World Cup, the best prediction is never a guarantee. One red card, one penalty shootout, one injury, one goalkeeper having the match of his life, and the cleanest analysis can disappear in 2 hours. But a prediction still has to choose. My choice is France. The romantic ending would be Messi defending the title at 39. The stylish ending would be Spain passing everyone into submission. England, Brazil, Germany, and Portugal all have believable paths. But the team I trust most to solve different problems, survive one bad hour, and still have another match winner waiting on the bench is France. The heat is not the kingmaker. It is the pressure test. And France look built to pass it. That is where I land. Who do you think actually wins the 2026 World Cup? Put your pick in the comments and tell me the one reason you trust that team. If you got something out of this, please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.